Lay down.
All right. Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay. Good. So we're ready to go. So we are all the players here. I see Donald and I see Corey. Good.
Okay, we're
I see
ready to go.
Mr. Jody. Kristen. Perfect. Okay. So I'd like to open the Committee of Adjustment and Consent Granting Authority meeting of Tuesday, March 23rd, 5 p.m. Via the Zoom virtual meeting. We have a determination of quorum. There are no updates, are there, Sylvie? Kristen? Nope. So I
No, there are
want
no
to.
updates.
We have a determination. There are no updates, are there, Sylvie?
No, there are no updates.
So I need a mover and a seconder to open the committee meeting of March 23rd.
I'll move it.
Corey seconds.
Perfect. So I have the Committee of Adjustment moved by Don Fenlon, seconded by Corey Lego. The Committee of Adjustment meeting of March 23rd, 2021 be declared open and called to order at 5:03 p.m. All those in favor? Perfect. Okay. So we have an agenda before us. Gentlemen, you've had a chance to take a look at our agenda. Is there any errors, omissions, or additions that you want to include before we adopt this agenda?
No, I have none.
I have none.
Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder.
Corey moves.
I'll second it.
Okay, so I have before us a motion moved by Corey Lego, seconded by Don Fenlon. Committee of Adjustment approved the agenda as submitted for the Committee of Adjustment meeting dated March 23rd, 2021. All those in favor? Good, and that's carried. Okay. Disclosure of any pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Gentlemen, anything?
No, not for me.
I'm good.
Okay, nothing for me as well. So now we're moving on to the minutes, and these are the minutes of the February 16th meeting. And I'd like to ask you to take a look to review those minutes and to tell me if there's any revisions or corrections required before we adopt them.
Nope.
No,
None
I'm
for
good
me.
with them.
I looked through them as well. Okay, I looked through them as well and everything seems to be in order. So I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move it first.
Corey
Thank you, Don.
seconds.
So we have then a motion on the floor moved by Don Fenlon, seconded by Corey Lego. The minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting of February 16th, 2021 be adopted as presented. All those in favor? Perfect, and that is carried. Okay, are there any delegations? Sylvie, Kristen?
There are no delegations this evening, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Well, then it is my duty to announce that this is a public hearing and we are going to hear comments on two minor variance applications. The committee will hear the comments and evaluate the written submissions. The committee makes the final decision. There is a 20-day appeal period from the date after the notice is provided. And any person who objects to the proposed proposed minor variances may do so in writing to the Secretary Treasurer of the committee and must attach the fee required for the appeal. This appeal will be forwarded to the local planning appeal tribunal for their review. Okay. And then we go right into whoever will be presenting the planning report on our first minor variance. Go ahead, Kristen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I'll be presenting this evening. So our first application is for minor variance MO3 2021. This has been submitted by Finway General Contractor on behalf of Sioux Lookout Menoyawin Health Center at 12 Miller Crescent, legally described as Plan M965, Lot 13. The applicant is proposing to construct a quadruplex dwelling. The purpose of the application is to seek relief from the minimum lot area and minimum exterior side yard provisions of the residential type 2 zone associated with the construction of the quadruplex. The minimum lot area required in order for a quadruplex to be permitted is 920 square meters. The subject land has a lot area of 860 square meters. The minimum exterior side yard is 5 meters. The proposed quadruplex is to have a proposed exterior side yard of 4 meters. So the 4 tests of a minor variance have been reviewed as they pertain to the keeping with the intent of the official plan, the zoning bylaw, if the variance will provide for the desirable development of the land, and if the variance is to be considered minor. So all of those have been outlined in detail in the planning report. So I won't go over them specifically here, but of course we can answer any questions if there are any. So based on that review, staff are of the opinion that the quadruplex should be we are recommending that the quadruplex should be permitted on the subject property.
Thank you, Kristen. Okay, so I'd like everybody else to mute their microphones except for the committee members. And now I'd like to ask the committee members if they have any comments or concerns, or if there's any issues that they feel need to be addressed in this application. The first application we're dealing with is a minor variance for MO3 2021, which is at 12 Miller Crescent. I understand these properties are side by side. 12 and 13, we have a plan of subdivision you see there before you. So is there any comments or concerns from my committee first to start off with?
I have one on the corner. Is there gonna, for number 12 on the corner going in, is the sight lines going to be appropriate for that corner?
I think it should be okay. We can certainly, yeah, Jody can probably respond to that because the setbacks are appropriate. No, Jody?
Yeah, for sure. The so a site triangle is like 6 meters by 6 meters by 6 meters, I believe. And the setback for the front yard is 8 meters. And then you got your 4 meter in the side yard. So I think the setback far enough. And then you still have your sidewalk and road allowance to the edge of the property line as well. So I think they had, in the report, it indicated 11 meters to the actual edge of the road to the side of the building.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
And just, there were comments from our public works manager. I'm not sure if you want me to read them now or after your discussion.
Yeah, I think, and they actually, we can maybe take those into consideration right now because I have a few questions about that as well, Jody, and that pertains to both minor variances, correct?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. Share those with us, please.
Okay, so this is from our public works manager, Andrew Jewell. The existing water servicing to each lot is likely inadequate for a fourplex development as there are only 2 19mm 3/4 inch water services to each lot, as the servicing was installed with the intention of servicing duplex developments. Municipal bylaw 19-14 states that with the introduction of a duplex or greater into a pre-existing service lot, the municipality shall determine whether the existing service laterals requires replacement And furthermore, municipal bylaw number 19-14 states that the size of the new water service lateral shall be determined by the Building Code Act or the owner's engineer and must be approved by the municipality. Therefore, the developer must provide the required water servicing line size required for a fourplex development as determined by their engineer, or they can provide a fixture count for each development, and the municipality can complete a residential hydraulic loading calculation to determine the required water servicing size. Furthermore, only two 19 mil services are for a fourplex development causes the following anomalies. One, if it is determined that the two 19 mil water services are adequate for a sufficient supply of water for these particular fourplex developments, then both water services must be installed into the development and connected to single water meters for a total of 2 water meters, as it would be in violation of municipal bylaw to split the services inside the development to then allow for 4 water meters to be installed, 1 water meter per unit. This is because there would be the inability to shut the water off to an individual unit with the absence of a curb stop valve installed at the property line for each unit. If it is determined that 2 water service 19 mil water services are adequate for sufficient supply of water for these particular fourplex developments, then both water services installed in the development would create a potential internal cross connection from the development back to the water distribution system, which would be a serious issue. The internal plumbing in the development would have to be configured as such that each side of the development containing 2 of the total 4 units was a complete separate plumbing system, which is not likely an option if it is a modular construction type similar to past development completed by this developer. 3, if it is determined that 2 19 mil water services are adequate for a sufficient supply of water for these particular fourplex developments, then both water services must be installed into the development and connected to single water meters, a total of 2 water meters, and thus the water and sewer billing would always have to remain in the name of the owner and would not allow for individual water and sewer billing for each unit. Furthermore, the installation for 2 water meters for the 2 individual water services utilized, the account billing in the name of the owner would include 2 connection fees plus metered consumption, which is an anomaly and in my opinion acceptable. Based on the above information, I highly recommend that this development only be approved if the following is a condition of the consent. 1, 2 additional water services are to be installed to each lot for a total of 4 water services to each lot to accommodate the fourplex development. This would allow for the installation of 4 water meters and a water and sewer account for each unit. The existing 2 water services to each lot are decommissioned and a single 1-inch service is installed into the lot to then allow for a single 25 mil water meter to be installed inside the development, and water and sewer account would always remain in the name of the owner. Thank you. Oh, and I'll just read,
Okay.
Finway did provide a response to that.
The response?
So
Yeah, if you would, please.
this is from Christoph Karpuk. This house is set up as a duplex, and therefore each side of the building is completely separate in regards to the water system. These are identical to the units at 17A and B Malloy Crescent and have the same services. Even though the setup is more as a duplex, each house will only have 1 owner, Meadow Yowen Hospital. There will be 2 water meters on the house, 1 for each incoming water line, same setup as 17A and B. Again, this house is identical to our house, to our already built unit, and we have 0 issues with the water service. Further to that point, no houses in the subdivisions have had issues with water supply.
Was there any other comments that we received from other agencies or Public Works?
No, that was it.
That was it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jody. So in essence, and I'm not sure, I guess my question before I ask my committee members to join in here, my question then is, I'm not sure, other than us placing a condition that of course that the servicing of the duplex be in adherence with the municipal bylaws that are in place, that truly this is dealt with by yourself at the building permit stage. Is that not correct?
That was what my response was going to be to this, that this would be dealt with at the building permit stage, yes.
Okay. That's what I assumed as well. I mean, if you want, and this is, I would look to my planning support team. If you would like us, we can certainly place that. But I mean, I think it's understood that everything that's done going forward would have to be in keeping with the existing municipal bylaws. I believe.
Yes.
To state that, I think would just be a duplication, right? It's like you have to follow the rules. Yeah, no kidding. You know. I don't
Yes,
know.
exactly.
What do you, Dawn, Corey, what are your thoughts here?
I think they should follow the bylaws, and I don't know, it got missed. It's time to move on, I guess, over that. There's nothing we can do about it. But these owned by the Menayawan, at some point in time, if if they're not in use and they want to sell them, what's going to happen? People are going to have to pay out of their own pocket at the time. And I guess the other issue that I thought about, we're putting more units on lots than is prescribed for the whole subdivision. So therefore, you don't know if the water hydraulics for the water system are going to work for all the 80-something units. I think that lots in that subdivision. Moving down the road, it could be 20 years, but it's still something that should be addressed right now.
And while I agree with you, Dawn, I'm not sure if we're the committee to address them. I think it is to be addressed by the municipality, certainly. And I think it should be addressed during the building permit, the issuance of the building permit. And that Jody and his team in the development services have to make sure, and this may have been missed, and that was perhaps somebody's oversight, but they have to make sure that whatever is proposed at the building permit stage is acceptable. And if it isn't, if it's contravening the existing bylaws, then they have to make sure that the developer or whoever is building, the owner, that is on them, I think. At this point, I'm not sure if we have the jurisdiction to tell them, other than, placing a condition that says follow the rules, follow the municipal bylaws. Before us, we're looking at something being, and even the density issue. It is allowed in this area. It's just that they're a little bit larger,
I think we have to deal with what we got to deal with right on the paper that we have right now. I think we deal with that and give our recommendation to council or to Jody that they look at this and change whatever needs to be changed in the bylaw, if anything, or start following the bylaw.
Sorry, in what
thank you.
regard, Don? Sorry to jump in, but in regards to fourplexes on undersized lots, or like, should we be adjusting that, or the actual water supply?
I think it's the water supply. If the water system is going to provide enough water for everybody that's going to be building houses in there, then that's fine. That's adequate. They can put 4 on every lot in the system. It's better for the municipality.
Yeah, not just water, but the pumping stations as well.
Yeah.
Eventually, if we keep on going the way we're going, there's going to be multiple units in that one little area. So whether that's being addressed or has been addressed, Jody can speak to that.
Yeah, I'll take a deeper look into that. I mean, this area is zoned for up to 4 units per lot. So it's, I would like to think, that the design was designed in accordance for that, but based on the water, the piping sizes, maybe it wasn't captured. So we'll have to make sure that definitely we don't want to end up with 20 lots left and no capacity to build up those lots. So let's we'll look into that right away and try to, maybe for the next meeting, that's something that can be or at least information sent forward to the committee, just so they're aware.
Now, does this lot have just one water service because it's a single lot, or does it have two water services?
Both these lots have 2 3/4 inch services to the lot.
Okay, because just when we did the last ones, it was actually like 2 lots together, and we sort of smushed them and made the 2 duplexes on each lot. So now we're just doing
Yes.
one lot.
Yeah,
But
now
were those lot
rather-
sizes different?
So there, what we did, we actually split the lots so each half could be sold individually. And here it's just going to remain under the same ownership.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Okay. As long as the service is appropriate, and that'll be up to you, Jody, to make sure that.
And yeah, and the other thing, Corey, just to add to your comment, is I'm not sure that Mr. Jewell is saying that they're not appropriate. He's
Yeah.
simply saying we have to take another look at it. The municipality has to take another look because he's not certain that there is sufficient supply based on the current servicing.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
how I read his email.
That's how I read it
may
as
be
well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he laid out multiple scenarios, right? So,
Yeah.
so it should be looked at, especially that, 80% of this development needs to be developed still.
And realistically, I will add, Jody, just for your information, and Kristen and others can probably attest to this, is what happens is you don't get, if there is a multiple unit zoning, you will not get individual homes infilling between these units. You will get that density. If not that density, you'll get a calling for even something greater. And so that then becomes a concern and something that you need to deal with. Fenway is also the owner of the subdivision, and they are likely aware of that as well, that this is what is going forward. This is what this fabric of this neighborhood is going to look like. I'm not sure if that's what they envisioned completely, or if it was partial, higher density and partial single family units. I'm not sure, but that it is something that as they own all of these lots, something that they have to take into consideration, because they won't be attracting single family homes to this area. It'll be multi units, row housing, and the quadruplex that are the ones that we're getting before us. Just a comment. Okay.
It seems
Don,
to me it's filling a need at the moment though, these units, especially for the hospital and the schools right around the corner.
Yeah.
So
I know our town's under a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that I'm not sure I even feel comfortable at this point even putting that condition in, because to my way of thinking, they're not asking this applicant, both 03 and 04, in not asking for anything that's other than minor in nature. And I have no real issue with it, other than, if there is a concern or a problem with the existing, it's in contravention of the existing municipal bylaws, then that's something that needs to be dealt with at the development stages and at the building permit stages.
I agree with you.
Dawn, what do you think? Do you think we should put something on here, or can we just leave it as is?
No, I think I don't like the 2 meters thing. I think they should, and they can put meters on each individual place. Right? That's my only concern.
In the current setup with 2 water lines, that's how Andrew would like to see it. Just 2 separate meters for each half. Basically, each duplex would get a single water meter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think what the proponent is saying at this point is that he's proposing 1 per 2 units. So essentially the two, and it's the same owner, and that's how going forward it would have to then be the onus would have to be on the owner to deal with the utility versus the unit renter per se.
Yeah, I guess
we
if they
have
sell
Mr.
it,
Yeah.
if they sell the units at some point in time down the road, all they got to do is put water meter in on each separate unit, right?
At that point, they would have to install separate services for the upper units or vice versa.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it would be a little bit more involved than that, Dawn, but yes, that's what they would have to do.
So
Okay,
I'm good with what we got here right now, and that we'll deal with that, and the rest will have to be dealt with by the management and council of the day.
okay. Is Mr. Christoph, I think his name is, with Fenway Contracting on the line? Did he want to address the committee before we make a decision?
Yeah, I am on the line here. Hello, everyone. I am just calling to represent Fenway. To back up what Jody was saying, they're identical again to 17A and B. We would never have the current owner, Minnow Yowen, if they were to ever sell. You would not be allowed to sell one of the 4 units. It would be split in half, exactly how 17A and B would be. So 1 unit, top and bottom, would have 1 meter. Same with the other side. So the owner would take responsibility for 1 total half. So to go to the question of would you need a future meter in the upstairs? No, there would never be that meter on the upstairs units.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Christoph.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now there was, just so you know, in the email that we received from Andrew, he did put forward that there are some past issues that have been brought forward regarding the development in this subdivision. And he referred to a section of street lighting not functioning properly, and then some asphalt surfacing on some streets. So I'm sure that you are aware of that, sir.
Yep, we do have the electricians to come up there, and there is one section of paving which we were trying to get at the end of the last year, and everything they got too busy and it got too cold too quickly, so it's in line to get done this summer. And we have talking with IFNA, who has the houses at the end of Bernier Bay, which is a house that's to be paved, and they did have some work that was happening for putting up on their lots that they got some variances on last year. And that was kind of one of the reasons we were holding off as well, because they were hauling some big loads down there. But yes, we are aware of the electricity and for the lights and for those roads. And there's a couple small patching that we'll do as well. That on our end is addressed. I guess on one of those, I don't know if it's the meeting to bring it up, but with regards to snow removal, I don't believe the city is plowing the side streets yet, but I don't know if that's something to bring up in this meeting or not.
Well, no, that's fine, Mr. Christoph. We just wanted you to draw your attention to that so that our building inspector can certainly take your comments back to our public works manager. And perhaps he needs to be, these need to be shared with him, so he's aware that you are aware of some of the current situation on the subdivision and that you are acting on it. And I think we thank you for that. Jody, if you could make sure that Mr. Jewell gets either a copy of the minutes or you confer with him and let him know that we have spoken with this developer and that they are moving forward on some of these outstanding issues, please. Okay.
Will do.
Okay. So then if there is anything else from my committee members, I have no issue with this. It's a minor in nature as far as I see, a little bit smaller reduction in the meters, square meters of lot area, as well as 1 meter reduction in the side yard. Are we okay with going forward?
Yes,
Do I have a mover? Do I have a mover and a seconder?
I'll move.
Don will move it.
Okay, I'll take, okay. So we have then before the Committee of Adjustments a motion moved by Corey Lego, seconded by Don Penland, that the minor variance application of M03 2021 Finway for 12 Miller Crescent, being an application to seek relief from section 5.2.21C from the minimum lot area required of 920 square meters, reduced to 860 square meters, and section 5.2.23C from the minimum exterior side yard required from 5 reduced to 4 meters in order for the construction of a quadruplex to be permitted be approved. All those in favor? Hands? Perfect. And that is carried. Now, the second application is for a second unit, which is adjacent to that. I'm not sure that we need to, Kristen, that we need to go over the planning report. Is there any differences in the planning report that I didn't capture?
No, none that I can see anyways. No.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. They are very similar. The only difference with this application is that we're just looking at a reduction in the square meters of the area of the lot. And that's it. That's the only variance that we're looking at here. So it is very similar. And there were no additional comments other than the ones already discussed by Mr. Jewell and then discussed by Mr. Brinkman here. So.
Okay, thank you. So then I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Don Penland,
Second by Corey.
second by Corey Lego, that the minor variance M04 2021 Finway for 13 Miller Crescent, being an application to seek relief from section 5.221C from the minimum lot area required of 920 square meters, reduced to 860 square meters in order for the construction of a quadruplex to be permitted be approved. All those in favor? And that is carried. So Mr. Christoph, what you can do then is just follow up with the planning secretary or the planner here at the municipality of Sioux Lookout, and she'll give you copies of these documents so that you can go forward.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So what else do we have here? I lost my agenda. And I think we killed a few trees along the way too. Here it is. Old business. Do we have any old business? Can somebody give me an update on where we're at with the Roberts? Is it coming back to us? Old business.
Yeah, it will be coming to the next meeting, I believe, Sylvia. We spoke with our lawyer and resolved some of the issues, and it'll be coming to the 30th, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We spoke with our lawyer and resolved some of the issues, and coming to the 30th, I guess.
Okay, and new business? That is the consent and easement application. And I
Yeah,
guess
that
that will
would-
be on the 30th. Is that correct,
That'll be
Kristen?
on the 30th, and I don't know if an easement's required anymore. It's gone from creating 2 lots to, or it was 3 lots total to just 2 lots now.
I guess that will be on the 30th. Is that correct?
So there shouldn't be an easement
Okay.
anymore.
Okay, that's perfect. And I apologize, I'm getting quite an echo, so I'm hearing people. I don't know if you guys are getting that same echo, if somebody's got maybe a hands-free or something, but anyway, I just apologize because I'm kind of slow in responding because I'm hearing this echo. So I'm hearing people, I don't know if you guys are getting that same echo, if somebody's got maybe a hands-free or something, but anyway, I just apologize because I'm kind of slow. Okay, so I have a motion before us for adjournment. Can I have somebody to move it and the seconder?
Corey moves.
I'll second it.
I have a motion before us for adjournment. Can I have Okay,
Sounds,
so then the Committee of Adjustment for the Municipality of Sioux Lookout. Sorry, was that Corey? Did you?
no, it just sounds like
Oh, okay.
we're on a
Sorry.
delay and what we're saying is coming underneath the background there.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one then.
Mhm. Me too.
Okay. Okay, so we have before the Committee of Adjustment then moved by Corey Lego, seconded by Don Penland, that the Committee of Adjustment meeting of March 23rd, 2021 is adjourned 5:37 PM. All those in favor? So we have before the Committee of Adjustment then moved by Corey Lego, seconded by Don Penland, the Committee of Adjustment meeting of March 23rd. And that is carried. 5:37 PM. All those in favor?
Yeah, I was. until
I
had
love
to